Check ccgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. You can also trade your Pokemon bulk for a new Sun.
How's it going, Pokefans? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at Lurantis-GX Giratina-EX deck in the standard format featuring Vileplume and Tauros-GX. So, 16 Pokemon, 33 trainer cards, and 11 energies. Sounds like a nightmare for any Pokemon player on the other side who's gonna play versus this deck. So first of all, I want to say only one thing. Vileplume with irritating pollen will just prevent both players from being able to play item cards. If you have Vileplume in play, and if you have Giratina with Regention Pulse and with the Chaos Wheel available to roll from turn to turn, you can simply have auto win against Mega Evolution decks. On the other side, you don't even need to worry too much about Gardevoir EX because I'm running 2 copies of Weakness Policy, so I can simply prevent my opponent from being able to one-hit knock my Giratina because Giratina is weak on the Fairy. The same thing will apply with the Lurantis versus those Volcanion EX decks, and of course even Tauros can use the advantage versus the fighting decks with the Weakness Policy. So, very interesting deck list. The main strategy is, of course, to have your Lurantis-GX in the active position, so you can power up your Giratinas on the bench, and you can combine your Giratina-EX with Regention Pulse and Chaos Wheel, of course, with Fighting Fury Belt for 210 HP and 110 damage counters per turn, and then simply from nowhere you can play Ninja Boy and surprise your opponent, Ninja Boying into the Tauros-GX and finishing the game with the Manpool GX. In order, of course, if you already didn't use the Colorless GX, so you also have 2 different powerful GX attacks to use. 2 Shaymin-EX mainly for the setup, and 2 line of the Oddish Glum Vileplume with 3 line of the Fomantis and Lurantis-GX, 2 Giratinas, and 1 Tauros-GX. From the item cards, I'm running pretty much 4 copies of Level Ball and no Timer Balls, because with the Level Ball I can grab Fomantis, Oddish, and Glum. Of course, with the Timer Ball I need to flip heads on the coin flip, and if I flip tails, unfortunately I can't get a single evolution Pokemon, but with the Level Ball at least I can set up properly my Fomantis, Oddish, and Glums on the bench. With 4 Ultra Balls I can search my deck for any Pokemon that I really like, and I can also discard some energies in my discard pile, so I can attach them back with my Flower Supply. With 4 copies of Trainers Mails I can just look at the top 4 cards of my deck and pick any trainer card I find there and put it to my hand. I'm also running, in addition to that, 4 copies of Forest of the Giant Plants, so I can have that Vileplume in play as fast as possible. Supporter line is very short. I'm running 4 copies of N and 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, so I can have the best consistency with that draft support. In addition to that, I'm running 1 copy of Ninja Boy, so I can simply switch my Shaymin or Giratina into the Tauros-GX. And I'm running also 1 copy of Olympia, just in case if I stuck with something in the active position that I cannot retreat, for example Vileplume or Giratina with 3 retreat cost without Float Stone, so I can have the opportunity to retreat them. 2 copies of Lysandre, of course, to Lysandre my opponent Pokemons on the bench. From the tool cards, I'm running 1 copy of Fighting Fury Belt, so I can have 40 extra HP and 10 extra damage available with my Giratina and with my Tauros. It's very important for that Rage and Mad Bull GX, but mainly because of the Rage, so we can have 220 HP. 2 copies of Float Stone, of course, mainly for that Vileplume, and one of them are going to be either way for your Lurantis or for your Giratina. It will depend on the strategy. I'm also running 2 copies of Weakness Policy, so I can have protection against weakness against those very popular decks that can actually easily counter my Lurantis-GX, for example, Volcanion EX or Fire decks on the other side against Giratina. Mega Gardevoirs, of course, with the Hex Maniacs, and only Gardevoirs because weakness to the Fairy ×2 will apply to Giratina, but the same thing will apply against Tauros-GX, for example, versus those fighting Pokemons like Zygarde-EX and others. I'm running 11 energies, which 5 of them are going to be special energies, 4 of them, of course, double dragon energies, so we can power up the Giratina-EX easily. One of these special energies are going to be a double course energy, so I can even use the advantage to Sky Return with my Shaymin-EX, or I can just simply attach my double course energy energy to my Tauros-GX, but mainly why I'm running that double course energy is just because of the fact if I'm gonna Ninja Boy my Giratina-EX into my Tauros-GX, I'm gonna need to have either way 2 grass energies or 1 double course energy to be able to attack with that Mad Bull GX or a Rage. 6 grass energies are gonna be here just to power up those Lurantis-GXs and any other basic or evolution Pokemons that I have in this build. If you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on ccgcastle.com with TCG Center 5 code. You can also get 5% discount on your first purchase. You can also trade your old bulk for the upcoming Cardio Raising Sun and Moon Booster Box. It's available worldwide, so make sure to check with the description for more information you need to know. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in action, so see you in the game. Okay, so welcome back to the second part of this video where I'm actually gonna play with this deck, so you can see it in action. Starting with 1 Fomantis, 2 Grass Energies, 2 Force of Giant Plants, 1 Ultra Ball, and 1 Lurantis, so pretty damn good opening hand. Gonna play against, we shall see. Looks like it's gonna be Solgaleo with something, so that's definitely gonna be powerful. 1 Level Ball for Fomantis. Alright, so Solgaleo Lurantis deck. Let's see that deck in action. Of course, I'm gonna need to establish as fast as possible my Vileplume, so I can prevent my opponent from being able to play those item cards like a rare candy, and that's going to be the most important part and key to success to win this match. So 1 Max Elixir and 1 energy attached to this Fomantis on the bench. There is 1 Trainers Mail, 2 Sycamores, Lysandre discarded. Well, Trainers Mail for the rare candy, and second Trainers Mail here will be for Olympia. Alright. Right now I know that he have Rare Candy and Olympia available in his hand, which is interesting. There's also 1 XP share. Alright, and it's my turn. So, speaking about my turn, let's just Ultra Ball here for that Force of Giant Plant and 1 Grass Energy for something like a Shaymin-EX. Then I'm gonna of course attach 1 more Grass Energy to my Lurantis and set up a Shaymin for 5. So, will I get that Giratina? Yes, I will get Giratina. I also have Ultra Ball available, which means I can discard 2 more Grass Energies in my discard pile, but this time I'm not gonna get Shaymin, I'm gonna grab myself Oddish, simply because I have that Gloom available in my hand. And after that, I'm gonna Sycamore for 7. So, I have a couple more good resources available. No way. No way, I didn't hit what I was looking for, and mainly I was looking for that. No way, I didn't get Vileplume. But at least I can have some energies attached, you know, to my Lurantis-GX in the active position. I could even have 2 energies attached to my Giratina, but decided to go with my Lurantis. So next turn, at least, I can maybe even go for 200 damage counters versus his Solgaleo, but still not gonna be not gonna be enough for the knockout. There is second Grass Energy attached to his Lurantis on the bench and 1 N. Alright, which means I'm gonna draw a fresh hand with 6 new cards, and I hope it's gonna be much better. Okay, Trainers Mail Ultra Ball, so it is better. It is better. Another Cosmog for my opponent on the bench, and 1 more Level Ball for that Fomantis. Okay, looks like there is no sign of the Solgaleo, but at least he have Max Elixir, and if he can strike energy, no, he could even have the opportunity to attack with that Solar Blade for like 120, but he decided not to do that. That's interesting decision. That's definitely very interesting decision, so he decided to retreat his Lurantis. I think he can still attach energy from hand manually. No, Flower Supply. Alright, for 40 and 2 energies are going to be attached to his Pokemons in play, so 1 to Lurantis and 1 to the probably Cosmog on the bench, as expected. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna first play my Trainer's Mail, grab that Weakness Policy and just simply discard it because I don't need it. So Ultra Ball for Gloom and the Weakness Policy, which is gonna be mainly for... Should I establish right now that item lock? I don't see a reason why I wouldn't do that, because if I simply put my Vileplume into play, my opponent will not have opportunity to use that rare candy. So I can simply Sycamore for 7, and all I really need is some double dragon energy so I can start to power up my Giratina. More than that, I'm gonna use that Solar Blade, which is gonna be for 120, but there is one huge problem here. If he's gonna have one more energy in his hand, he can simply attack me for like 200 with that Tauros-GX, and basically he can max out my Lurantis, but still then I can simply knock him back with my Giratina for 110. Actually, I can't. Yeah, I can, because he's not gonna heal damage counters since he's not gonna use Solar Blade. So let's see what is gonna be next step for my opponent. It's gonna be Lysandre to my Shaymin. Alright, I even have answer to that. I have double course energy available in my hand, but he just decided to knock me out and drop 2 prize cards. So right now he have 9 damage counters, which only means one thing. It's time to put that Tauros-GX on the bench with double course energy, and it's time to use that Solar Blade for 120. So 120. I'm healing all damage counters from my Lurantis. More than that, I'm gonna drop 2 prize cards here, but basically my opponent will be in a very bad position since he don't have that Solgaleo in play, he don't even have another Lurantis in play, where on the other side I'm gonna have that double dragon energy attached to my Giratina, and probably I'm just gonna end my hand for something better. Even Professor Sycamore wouldn't be that bad. Alright, so one more Cosmog on his bench. One more Cosmog and one Professor Sycamore for 7. So he had Ultra Ball, but he didn't have any way that rare candy available. And right now I can simply go for the knockout. Lysandre will be nice. If I can top deck Lysandre, I think this is gonna be GG. But anyway, he just decided to concede, so let's move to the another game. Alright, so I'm gonna start with my Tauros-GX in the active spot. And after that, I'm gonna first play one Level Ball, so I can grab something like Fomantis, put it down to my bench. After that, I'm gonna play that Trainers Mail, which is gonna be for M. So I'm definitely gonna play that Ultra Ball, and with the Ultra Ball I'm gonna discard Sycamore and N for 1 copy of Giratina-EX, so I can set my Giratina on the bench with the advantage of double dragon energy, and then I can still set up my Shaymin for 5. So I also have one more Ultra Ball available in my hand. That's gonna be one Oddish, one Ultra Ball for Olympia and a Grass Energy. For something like, let it be one more Fomantis. Alright, and after that I'm just gonna play my Sycamore for 7. So I'm mainly right now looking for Forest and Giant Plant, Ultra Ball of course, and Level Ball, so I can put that item lock in play. So that's gonna be a Level Ball, and it's gonna be for one Gloom. And after that Gloom, I'm gonna play my Ultra Ball, which is gonna be for something like a Ninja Boy and one Grass Energy. And of course, I can finally get that Vileplume in play. So right now I also have Vileplume, I have Tauros in the active position, I have double course energy available in my hand for attack with my Tauros-GX, and most importantly I have Sycamore, so I can draw 7 new fresh cards. Also 2 grass energy is available in my discard pile for that Lurantis, Flower Supply, Energy Acceleration. So far so good. Let's just wait and see what my opponent will do, what type of the deck he actually plays. So he's stuck with one Eevee in the active position, but not sure what else he have available. But I'm gonna definitely find out. I'm gonna definitely find that out. So one Psychic Energy, which means he can get access to the Umbreon GX, and with Umbreon GX, he can actually confuse my Tauros, so if I want to attack and if I flip Tails on the coin flip, I'm gonna take 3 damage counters back. So that's Professor Kukui. That Professor Kukui is gonna be for like 2 more, so Psy Beam will strike me for 50. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna attach my double course energy to Tauros and play my Sycamore for 7. Alright. That's gonna be just a rage. Can I flip heads? Yes, I can flip heads, so that's gonna be 7 damage counters. If I decide to go with my Mad Bull GX, it's gonna be just 150, which would not be enough for the knockout. But actually, next turn, I'm gonna try to one-hit knockout his Espeon, simply because of the fact if he can get double course energy, that Psy Beam can go for like 120, and I will still have 10 HP available. It's gonna be a little bit risky, of course, to attack, because if I flip Tails, I'm gonna be knocked out. But if I flip heads, his Espeon is gonna be knocked out and the game will be over. So, yeah, let's see. Rage. Can I get heads? Yes, I can get heads, and that's the GG. Unfortunately, Donk versus his Espeon, but that's the advantage of the item lock deck. Alright, so let's call the heads. And that Pikachu coin actually works pretty well for me, so I'm gonna start first here. And looking at my opening hand, I have Tauros and Giratina. Let's start with the Tauros in the active position and Giratina on the bench. You know, Tauros have to retreat 2 energy cost attack, plus with the Rage and Mad Bull, overall it can be much stronger. So on the other side, Giratina can actually be pretty good since it can block those Mega Evolution Pokemons from attack. But still, with the Hex Maniac, they can easily be Giratina can easily be countered. But anyway, I have 2 Level Balls, 2 Ultra Balls of Grass Energy available in my hand, which is just amazing. So I'm gonna first play probably Level Ball for Oddish, then Level Ball for Fomantis, then Ultra Ball for Energy and top deck for Shaymin, set up for 5. Then I'm probably gonna play 1 more Ultra Ball. So yeah, my opening hand is just pretty damn badass. So waiting my opponent still to put his active Pokemon to the active position, and then we can finally start. Trainers Mail and Sycamore. Oh, he started with the Hoopa. Definitely worst possible start for any player is to start with the Hoopa. Trainers Mail 4, Forest of Giant Plant. I like that. Then I can play my Level Ball and I can grab 1 Fomantis. I have 2 Shaymins available, which is very nice. After that, 1 Ultra Ball for that Grass Energy and Professor Sycamore, which is going to be for Shaymin-EX. Alright, I have Ninja Boy, I have Float Stone, there is also Fighting Fury Belt and Double Course Energy, so none of the energy cards are actually priced. So set up for 5. There is a Level Ball, of course it's going to be for that Gloom. I also have my Lurantis. But I also have that Double Course Energy and 1 more Ultra Ball for that setup of 6 new cards. I still didn't play supporter card for draw, which is just amazing. Plus I also have Ninja Boy available, which means I can swap 1 of my Shaymins easily with something like Giratina, if it's gonna be needed. So for now I'm gonna just play Ultra Ball, which is gonna be for that Weakness Policy and for that Grass Energy, so I can get that item lock Vileplume in play. Unfortunately without Float Stone, but at least I have Olympia in case of the Lysandre from my opponent. So let's see what my opponent is capable to do right now. So there is a second Hoopa EX, so he actually ran 2 Hoopas. Alright, I mean that's pretty standard for the Desperate Mega Gardevoir. I decided to go with the item lock simply because if he wants to Mega Evolve, he's gonna need to pay that extra turn, which is gonna be very important for me to manage to set up. There is a Skyfield. which is also very good because right now I can even add more basic Pokemons onto my bench, so I can discard much easier my Shaymins. So Shaymin setup. Alright, there we go with the end. So I'm gonna grab 6 new cards. And there's gonna be Forest of Giant Plant. There's also gonna be Float Stone, but it's not playable. Which means I'm gonna just attach one double Dragon Energy to my Giratina. And I'm gonna force his Shaymin to be promoted in the active position. So I can also play my Forest of Giant Plant to counter his Skyfield. And attack with my Horn Attack for 60. Basically decided to go for that Shaymin simply because he don't run double Course Energies and I can take 2 easy prize cards, knocking out that Shaymin, of course, if he don't decide to maybe retreat him. What he can do here, he can pay the retreat cost with 1 energy and retreat down to the Gardevoir and then just Mega Evolve, which is probably gonna happen. But I don't care too much about that. I still have 2 stadiums, so I can prevent him from one hit knocking out my Tauros. In addition to do that, he's gonna need so many resources. On the other side, I also have that Giratina available on the bench. So once he Mega Evolve, that's definitely gonna be very bad for my opponent because Giratina will completely counter his Mega Gardevoir. But on the other side, of course, Hex Mania can simply shut down my abilities. So there is the Lysandre from my Vileplume. Alright, as expected. As expected, to be honest. So moving on to the N. Moving on to the N, and I'm gonna definitely need second Vileplume as fast as possible, so at least I have that Trainers Mail available. There is another Fairy Energy available for my opponent, which means right now he can get knocked against my Vileplume. There's also Oranguru. Okay. It's definitely okay. I managed to set up my Giratina, which is the most importantly. On the other side, he can knocks me out right now for 130, discarding Hoopa and Shaymin from his bench, which probably gonna happen. Speaking about stadiums, this is his second Skyfield in play. I still have like 2 stadiums available. If I can win Stadium War, I'm definitely gonna be fine. On the other side, right now I can attack him with my Giratina, which is also gonna be a very big plus for me. But what I can also do here, I can try to set my Ninja Boy and Forest of Giant Plants. Let's go with the Forest of Giant Plants for now. Grass Energy to be attached to my Lurantis, Float Stone to be attached to my Lurantis, and more than that, Sycamore to be played for like a 7. I'm gonna grab another Trainer's Mail here, which is gonna be for Fighting Fury Belt. Alright, that Fighting Fury Belt will goes down to my Tauros. More than that, there's gonna be one more Lurantis-GX for me in play. And I'm gonna strike with my Chaos Wheel for 100. Unfortunately, I'm gonna need 3 turns to knock out his Mega Guardy, but somehow I feel as long as he don't have Hex Maniac, I'm gonna be just perfectly fine. And in order to play Hex Maniac, of course, he's gonna need to waste 1 turn of being able to play another supporter card. On the other side, he can always get access to the Lysandre and knock out against my Shaymins on the bench, which can be definitely Red Alert for me on the other hand. But there we go with the end, so which means right now my bench will be just fine. Same as my Giratina-EX in the active position. The good thing also for me is that I have Weakness Policy, and I can simply attach my Weakness Policy to my Giratina-EX, so I can also prevent him from being able to one-hit knock me out with his Luminous Blade, so he can go for only 120. That's even a worst possible scenario for my opponent. So he discarded 1 Gardevoir Spirit Link here. Alright, he discarded that Gardevoir Spirit Link for the Dragonite EX, and with the Dragonite EX he can simply get access to the Shaymin and Hoopa. but mainly for this turn I'm gonna be just fine. The only card that can actually help him maybe to do something here is gonna be Escape Rope. But if he can find Escape Rope, I'm gonna definitely promote my Tauros-GX in the active spot. So I don't need to worry too much about being escape roped by my opponent. Okay, so he can maybe just... Oh, Fairy Drop, nice. So he even plays those Fairy Drops, 5 damage counters healed, so definitely good decision attaching that only Fighting Fury Belt to my Tauros. This is gonna be 1 Desperate, unfortunately for 0 damage counters. And right now, definitely nightmare for my opponent is that Weakness Policy. More than that, I can play my Trainers Mail, which is gonna be just for a Ninja Boy. And I think right now is perfectly timed to play Ninja Boy and to swap one of my Shaymins with another Giratina. More than that, this is just gonna be 1 Level Ball to see what else I have left in my deck. Alright, and after that I'm gonna just attack with my Chaos Wheel for 100, which means my opponent is also limited to... he can't even play those tool cards, he can't play special energies, and he can't even get access to his Skyfield, which means he's definitely locked right now. So there's Escape Rope, which is gonna be down to my Tauros, of course. So let's see what he's gonna promote in the active position. So he's gonna promote his Gardevoir. He can use the Link Blast, but next turn I can just Lysandre his Mega Guardian on the bench and go for the knockout against him. So there is a V-Seeker for another N, which means I'm gonna lose my Lysandre, but I'm also gonna drop 6 cards and I will have only 3 cards available. Well, I have my Lysandre back, so I'm more than happy to see my Lysandre back. Alright, so striking with the Tauros for like a 60. No, he decided to concede, so looks like I don't have luck in today's gameplays. All of my opponents just decide to concede before we actually go through the end. But yeah, definitely Giratina managed to do itself, to do the good job, the same as the Tauros. So I could just Lysandre his Mega Guardian on the bench for the knockout, and that would be pretty much it. So yeah, pretty interesting deck list for the standard format. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't enjoy watching it, and if you don't like this deck list. Overall, let me know what you think about this deck in the comments below. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you already didn't. So stay tuned for more upcoming videos on my YouTube channel. Make sure to check some other videos that I actually published a few days ago and 2 years ago. I have plenty of different decks. If you're new to the channel, you can just search YouTube for them. So have a nice day once again. We'll see you in the next video. So till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.